following program is a special presentation of the Big Ten Network, produced in association with Michigan State University.
Up next on MSU Today, scholars improving the lives of young people living in harsh environments.
My research is about young people being able to look at themselves in a healthy way and look at how they connect to the larger picture.
Students uncovering the past right on their own campus.
Well, we found this little glass bottle, and it even has Lansing, Michigan on it.
Spartans, past and future, working together.
Gives them a taste of what college is like. Just it plants a seed.
And we'll look at the connection between MSU researchers and the giant panda.
This kind of technology has not been available in the past.
Welcome to MSU Today, the program that brings you information on research, teaching, and student life at MSU and how it affects communities outside MSU. I'm Ron Collins. When you think of professors and researchers, you often think of classrooms and lab coats, but sociologist Dr. Carl Taylor does his research in an entirely different environment. He conducts his research on the street and with people within our communities that are often overlooked. Then he applies that research to help make a difference in people's lives.
40 years ago, I was 17 years old, and I came through here, and this was all working class, people who worked in factories, men and women, in this neighborhood. These were single homes, two-family homes, but people were working, and all these shops, these abandoned buildings, like even this here, was all here. It was happening. Just looking at this is violent to look at it. How can you go to school and feel very hopeful? Some people only want to look at one part of the community. Researchers have to make certain that they're getting a total picture. I consider myself an activist scholar, and so my classrooms are connected. My classroom in the street, at the youth centers, in the prisons, and my classroom back in East Lansing, they're together. My research is about young people being able to look at themselves in a healthy way and look at how they connect to the larger picture. They don't have to be addicted to violence.
Dr. Taylor and his team are working with inner city kids in youth centers like Youthville, where they believe that one-on-one contact will help break the cycle of violence.
So how do you stay away from the dark side?
Well, I mostly try to hang around people that I get do the same thing I do.
What Dr. Taylor is doing is he's changing the mentality, the scope of it. You're taking something out of the laboratory, you're going out there, you're trying to put it into effect. What we talked about in books, we're going out there doing on the streets here.
We have to get out from behind our desks. We have to get out here. Youthville is what the YMCA used to be and what the Boys and Girls Club and all those things, and they're all gone now. And you started looking at what's taking place here, and it's hard when we go back and look at Youthville, we're like the phoenix rising again. Every single last young person that I've talked to over there today, one of the first things out of their mouth is, I'm safe here. I wish that I could make every kid safe. A safe haven is so important. If they have a good, healthy, young life, more than likely, you can talk about studies or whatever, but common sense should dictate that they're going to be good parents. They're going to be better people, better citizens.
All we need is more buildings like this. That's all we need.
So do they have rules? If you don't get good in school, can you not come in here? When I talk to young men and young women, I'm showing them in a peaceful way that, hey, come on, you can do better. Because I'm a product of a lot of good men and women that took time out with me. Young men need to be able to connect themselves to another male who cares about them with no hidden agenda.
One of the young men Dr. Taylor has been working with is Daryl Woods. He grew up in Detroit and now works in Dr. Taylor's office and attends MSU.
He's like the only professor that I know that I could talk to about different things regarding my education, social life, everything. So, a researcher. I never looked at him as a researcher. I never looked at him as a researcher. I looked at him as like Moses. But he actually uses statistics and try to help people with them and try to change their lives.
We've had some incidents here over the past 5-10 years where young men have done horrific things. But if we dig a little deeper, we find that there's an older guy who has sanctioned that. It's that older guy, that older brother, that uncle, that man who tells you it's cool to call women vulgar names. It's cool to abuse someone. It's not cool. That's the message.
Well, my father, he's in prison. He's been in prison since I was 1. And he had a program that he was running in prison. And Dr. Taylor, he got involved in it. And my father told Dr. Taylor about me. And then my dad called me that day, I think, and he told me about Dr. Taylor. Now I'm a sophomore at Michigan State University, majoring in computer engineering. I'm the first person from my family to go to college. I'm pretty sure like the first person from my area to go to college. All my friends either have kids or doing bad, selling drugs, but I just chose to steer away from it.
By bringing his message of peace and hope to segments of society that need it most, Dr. Taylor hopes to encourage more inner-city youth to pursue a nonviolent future.
We catch kids early, we know this. If we catch them early, we can really alter that behavior. Yes, we can.
Dr. Martin Luther King, he made a difference. Malcolm X made a difference. And in this situation, it's Dr. Taylor. He's my role model. I try to learn everything I can from him.
We're all a role model. Seriously, we really are. We can find a peaceful solution. Many times it's not the easiest way, but we lead by example. It's not hopeless. A lot of young people, all they want is a chance.
I want to be able to say that I helped someone, be able to say that I changed the world like Dr. Taylor has.
Dr. Taylor's research findings and expertise has been sought out by law enforcement agencies and fellow scholars across the nation. Next up, we find out what lies beneath the soil right here at MSU. For many anthropology students, the idea of going to a far-off exotic place for a dig site can be exciting. But think how exciting it could be to dig right where you live and go to school, basically allowing you to walk in the footsteps of students of the past. Anthropology students here at MSU got just that chance.
The field school is being conducted in our own backyard, and students will be excavating one of the first buildings constructed on this campus.
A 3-story brick building, unofficially named Saints Rest after a popular devotional, was the focus of this archaeological study. Saints Rest was an active dormitory for 20 years before being consumed by fire.
You can see right from there, that's the tongue and groove, so that was about a 4-inch wide floorboard.
We know it burned during the winter break of 1876.
What was left of the structure after the fire was simply leveled and buried, leaving us a time capsule of student life in the 1800s.
Well, we found this little glass bottle. It's obviously a medicine bottle. It says Palmer and Nixon Glass Block Pharmacy, and it even has Lansing, Michigan on it.
This is the western wall, and the unit right next to it where the timber came out of it is just a few feet inside that wall, and then about 10 feet over is the unit the key came out of, so they are well within the wall.
We found a door that looks like it's part of a wood burning stove, and it was pretty much the entire face of the door down in the bottom of our unit.
Over 20 undergraduate students participated in the archaeological field school excavation. The remains of Saints Rest lie beneath the ground surface just east of the MSU Museum. In the laboratory, the real work begins as everything is sorted, cleaned, and cataloged, and these artifacts from the past become today's teaching tools.
To see everything cleaned up and laid out nicely and identified, it's really fun. For me, it's always surprising how much stuff there is.
Well, right now I'm just cleaning off some of the artifacts, getting the dirt off. I haven't quite figured out what this is yet, but it looks like it has a switch or something on it, maybe. It's just interesting seeing the different, artifacts. Like even the nails are different. Instead of being round, modern nails, they're kind of a square. They're shaped differently. Just interesting to see how things change over time. These are things that were seen and used by students like me, back in the 1860s.
I'm teaching an introductory to archaeology class. We did excavations of people's backpacks, and we talked about how people's personal material would be different now and at the time of Saints' Rest.
No ballpoint pens, certainly no computers or anything else, but a slate pencil and an inkwell. The bottles were for medicine. Those were pretty common. Also, inkwells were common.
They read the general process involved, then they try to apply it to a situation of hopefully of great interest to them, something that they can really relate to. And then this is even better, that they can actually follow through and see some of the artifacts.
It's, one thing to read a book, but it's just a totally different human experience to then touch some of those same artifacts that those people were using, that were theirs, and make that very, human sort of personal connection. Right here, right in your own backyard, you can often find parts of your past.
It reminds us that what we do on campus today will be the dig 150 years from now. And the footprints that we lay today will be the basis for others to study what we have accomplished 150 years from now.
You can find more information about this project online. Just go to anthropology.msu.edu and click on the Saints Rest Gallery. Next up, can you picture going to college with your grandparents? No? Well, we'll meet up with some students who did just that and say they would do it all over again. Stay tuned. At every university, fall brings thousands of fresh-faced students to campus. But here at MSU, it's summer that brings students young and old together for a unique university experience.
I'm a Spartan, 1964, 1966, chemical engineering.
I graduated in 1961 with a degree in math.
Now, I have 3 degrees from here, so I've spent a lot of time down this campus.
We have alumni coming back that haven't been here in 40 years.
This building wasn't here when I was in school.
We had to wear dresses or skirts to classes.
She was the Rose Bowl queen.
In 56, that's right. I rode the float, Michigan State float, for the Rose Bowl parade.
They get to relive their days on campus and really show their grandkids what it's like being at MSU.
In addition to reliving their college days, grandparents get to choose from nearly 70 classes to take with their grandkids. There's the popular Lego robotics class where participants actually create and program a robot using computerized plans. They can get in some target practice using BB guns or bows and arrows in archery class. And they edit a short video in the television production class.
We do a medical detective for a day where each participant is assigned a disease and they have to figure out what it is. There's care and management of horses where they really learn what goes into taking care of the horses every day.
We took a class that taught you how to make a website. So now I have my very own website. I'm looking forward to the forensic anthropology. I've always been interested in the body and how it works.
I stuck my hand into a cow's stomach, so that was pretty cool.
It was very cool.
I saw the inside of a bird egg. Yeah, have you ever seen a little baby bird's heart? It's just like a little blinking eye. So this person has too much sugar in their blood, which means that they're diabetic.
This is pretty much the exact same stuff that we teach to college students, not really dumbing it down or anything. It's pretty much the same content. We're just packing it into an hour.
But the kids are not the only ones getting something out of the classes. the grandparents are working right alongside them every step of the way.
They're excited to be back on campus, and they're excited to learn about something that maybe they haven't experienced before, and they're excited to be helping their grandchildren learn this stuff. So it's fun to see the pairs working together.
8 of the 16 colleges on campus provided interesting classes and activities for Grandparents U. But to really complete the college experience, grandparents and their grandkids live in residence halls and eat in the cafeteria for 3 days.
The kids, when they walk into the cafeteria the first time, it's just amazing to watch because a lot of them are used to their grade school cafeterias, and here they've got this huge cafeteria with lots of different choices. There's always a line at the ice cream machine, even at breakfast.
This year, participants came from 23 different states, including 400 people from Michigan and 150 from out of state. Grandparents U has been so successful that many participants are coming back, and they're bringing friends.
She and I are alumni from last year, and it was so great we brought them this year.
2 of our neighborhood boys are here this year as a direct result of the great time we had last summer.
We both really enjoyed it, wanted to come back, so signed up the very first day you could possibly do it.
It's a wonderful opportunity to bring families together and to introduce them to the college, and it's great.
It gives them a taste of what college is like. Just plants a seed.
In its first 2 seasons, Grandparents University has completely sold out. For more information on Grandparents U, go to MSU.edu and search for Grandparents U. When we come back, we'll uncover the connection between an MSU researcher and an endangered species. Welcome back. The giant panda has long been a symbol of endangered species. At Michigan State University, Dr. Jack Liu has spent years studying not only that animal, but also the animal with the greatest impact on the panda's habitat, man.
One of our main goals in this project is to try to understand human impacts and how that's influencing panda behavior.
The Oolong Nature Reserve in China is not only home to the giant panda, but to the people living within its boundaries. And the use of the natural resources within the reserve has a direct impact on the panda's habitat.
Historically, they have survived because they moved to different places. But now if you have a frontier in which there is people with agriculture and roads and development, they simply cannot move.
The pandas depend on the forest for 2 things. One is food, and then also as the cover. And if you cut down the trees, then you destroy the houses.
Farming, increased population, and the use of timber as fuel has shifted the delicate balance within the reserve, prompting strict conservation policies.
The government checks what's going out and what's coming in. And so there are checkpoints at the gate of the reserve.
Another concern for Dr. Liu is the increased traffic to the reserve, creating a much larger human footprint.
More and more nature reserves are open for ecotourism, and because the people are doing this quickly without evaluating the long-term consequences, so there is a potential risk for those nature reserves which are open to ecotourism to suffer in the long term.
Team members use satellite data consisting of elevations and vegetation layers to track both the natural and the man-made changes within the reserve.
Habitat. What is the climate effect on habitat is what's the potential climate effect on forest. What we're looking here is just a 3D representation of the landscape in Wolong Nature Reserve. And then using this satellite data in combination with field data collected using GPS, we develop models to say, okay, how do these differences in human agency and the changes through time in this human agency affect what we are seeing in terms of the habitat for the pandas.
The newest tool for researchers is a collar-based GPS tracking system that will allow the most accurate data on the pandas' migration patterns.
It's very difficult to get a count of how many pandas because they're very elusive and they're very afraid of people. And that's one of the things that's potentially powerful about this technology, because it will send back to you a location about where that animal is at that given time. So a latitude and a longitude and an altitude of where that animal is. And that information is useful because we can get some more detailed information about what kind of habitat pandas like. If we know what kind of habitat pandas like, then we know what kind of habitat we need to conserve, where we need to put our efforts into thinking about conservation and protection of the habitat, and also potentially restoring areas to better habitat.
Dr. Liu and his team hope their data will help fellow researchers around the globe.
And they use the information and the approaches that we develop in one spot and then apply this, the methodologies to other areas. And not just for the pandas, but also for the conservation of other species.
Currently, only about 1,000 pandas remain in the wild. Dr. Liu's research has been shared at many conferences and has helped shape Chinese environmental policy. Thanks for watching this episode of MSU Today. If you have comments for us or story ideas to suggest, please send your email to comments@ur.msu.edu. And remember, you can dig deeper into all these stories by searching msu.edu. Thanks for watching MSU Today, and remember, go green!
The preceding program was produced by Michigan State University in association with the Big Ten Network.